Hello and welcome back to Productive Dragons channel where we do unboxes, playing with me's and other things. And today we are doing another thing. We are actually going to talk about what I read in January. Want to see what I did? Come join me. So for some of you all seen this. This is my reading bullet journal that I decided to create because one of my goals for the month of for 2022 was to read every day, which I actually succeeded. Thank God. I will link that right above. I read actually 11 books. Out of the 11, one's physical, two's ebooks, and the rest were audiobooks. Not a big deal. It was great. As I did my review, I'm doing one physical, 8 audio, 2 ebooks. Out of those was 8 fictions and 3 non-fictions. So not too bad, and I read every day. I'm very proud of myself. I think I am going to might have to increase this from 22 to something. Don't know yet. We'll just have to see. I decided to do one of the readathons, which is the buzzword readathon, which for January I will let you know. You'll know which one it is. And as you see, I did do this, and I read for 31 days. I completed 11 books. I DNF'd 1 book. So, without further ado, I will start with the book club one because that's what I did. I started with book of the month, and this one I read and I said I would give my thoughts on it. Well, okay. Reckless Girls by Rachel Hawkins. All right. I gave it a 4 star. One, it got me interested back into reading. But 2, I didn't think it was a thriller. To the point that, this was saying, oh, it's going to be a thriller. And I just kept waiting and waiting and waiting. And I'm going, where's the thriller part? Because I've never read a thriller. And I thought, maybe I'm screwed up. I had my friend read this and she was like, this is not a thriller. I would consider this a novel, not a thriller. So it says a novel here. I would take that right there because to me, there was no thriller. I'm sorry, that's just me. But because it made me back interested in books, I thought, okay, yeah, I will give it a 4 star. So that was my only physical book. Like I said, I'll link that video up there. The next book I read was Atomic Habits. Well, it was actually an audiobook and by James Clear. I gave it 5 stars. I really liked it. It really wasn't very much detailed what I needed to hear. I know some people do not like this book. It's repetitive, but for me, it makes sense to be repetitive. It helped me out. So with that, I loved that book. So I gave it a 5 star. It was a nonfiction and I enjoyed it. The next audiobook that I completed was The Salarian Sea, House in the Salarian Sea by T.J. Klum. I didn't know that it had a little controversy with it. I had no knowledge of that controversy, but I listened to the audiobook. I absolutely fell in love with David Henning's portrayal of every character in the book. I gave it a 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. I got a kick out of it. It was just enjoyable. I was laughing. There was some crack ups and there were some sad moments, but the sad moments didn't make me cry. But it was very heart-sent, and I absolutely loved the book, so I gave it a 5 star. Next one I listened to was Detox Your Thoughts by Adrian. Oh, I'm not going to pronounce this woman's name. It was okay. It was a 3 star. It made some sense. It's a nonfiction, but I guess I listened to it and I was okay with it, but it wasn't something that made me go, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to, some parts I could take and some parts is like, eh. Then I listened to The Empress, Salt, and Fortune. Loved it. I was actually listening to it as well as reading the ebook at the same time with it. And it was absolutely enjoyable. I gave it 4 stars. The person who did the narration in that one was Cindy Kay, and she did an awesome job. I liked her wonderful tale of this and how she gave each character their voice. I absolutely loved it to the point I went to the next one, which was When a Tiger Comes Down the Mountain, came down the mountain. That too got another 4 stars. I absolutely enjoyed it. Uh, Same thing. I enjoyed listening to the audio and also reading it at the same time with the audio, enjoying the whole premise and everything in that one. That happened to be my Buzzathon one for January, because it was the 5 W's, and that has win in it. So that one also was read by Cindy Kay. She did a wonderful job, again, giving each character a different poise and voice that felt like you were right there, right in front of them. So I then chose a book from, I'm a Prime on Amazon. I'm a Prime user. So I ended up, they do a thing once a month, they give one free Prime read away. You get to buy it. This is not one of the you borrow it and you have to give it back kind of deals. This is one that actually stays in your thing. And I decided I would try a historical fantasy that they have called The Raven Spell by G. Lucianne G. Smith. Enjoyed that story. I gave it a 4 stars. I was surprised because I was really leery about it being historical fantasy. Being a historical, I'm not big on that, but I like the idea of fantasy, so I decided I'd go ahead and read it, and it ended up being a really good book. I really enjoyed it. I love the characters. I can't wait for the next book to come out. I don't think Prime's going to be will let us buy it again for free, but yeah, we could try. Next one I listened to was The Library of the Dead by T.H. Huckel. I'm not sure how to pronounce that last one. It's a 3-star for me. I listened to the book. It was actually enjoyable, to the point that I absolutely, I got a kick out of it. It wasn't something that I was really, it was gung-ho and everything, to the point of me going, oh yeah, I need to. It was a good book, but it's not something, it's like I wouldn't sit there and go, I'm going to try to get the next book when it comes out, but it's not something that I'm sitting there going, I'm not upset if I don't get it. But it was a decent book, and I really did like the person who read that one, and it was a pretty decent book, but not something that would make me go gaga over. Then I decided to use my Prime script for reading, and found one of the books called A Witch Named Hazel by Sarah, and I'm not pronouncing her name. It ended up being a pretty good book too. I actually gave that one 4 stars. It was you could say a paranormal mystery, which was really interesting. I absolutely loved it. They call it a cozy mystery. But since, witches, yeah, you think paranormal. So that was quite interesting, and I really did enjoy it. I can't wait for the next book to come out. I think there is one book already out. Well, unfortunately, it's not on Prime, so I can't borrow it. But my friend has Kindle Unlimited, and it might be under that, so I could borrow it via that. That would be great, because I would love to read the next book in the series. This one I would go looking for. The next book was Under the Whispering Door by T.J. Cloon. I gave it a 5-star. That was absolutely, I watched a booktuber, I can't think of her name right now. She didn't like it because she felt like the same trope as the first book of his that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. However, I still loved it. I found it a little different. Maybe it's the same trope, but I found it enough differences between it to where I got it, and I really did love it. This one was actually Kurt Graves, I believe, is the one who is reading the audiobook, and he did a wonderful job as well. I absolutely enjoyed that book. I gave it a 5-star. I really do enjoy his books, interesting enough. I did also, the last book I read or listened to was Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. And that one I actually own, but I hadn't read it yet, and it's right now stored with the rest of my books. I'm going to have to find my book listing, which I'm scared, to see what books I have not read yet. And that one ended up being a really good book. I enjoyed it. It's a nonfiction as well. It's great. I absolutely loved it. I did DNF one book, which was the Serenity Mindset. I think that was, no, I'm sorry. Serenity Mindset by Christian Bush. Maybe it's Bush. Didn't care for that much. I got to the point I was like, no. So right now, I am still reading this book. This is one, and I'll link above. I got another book club kind of thing, and this is the My Thrill Club. I'm still working on this book. This is, I think, the third book in this series. And to be honest, I don't think I would be reading the first two, but I'm going to try to finish this book and get through it. As you can see, I'm not really in a rush. This is one of those, okay. But, and you'll know about the other book if you watch the video, because, yeah. So that is what I've done. And I'm hoping for the next month to start up again. I don't know if I'm going to put a review here or not, due to the fact I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but you know, these are my little notes areas that I gave for my own reference. I do have a Goodreads list, and I just put stars next to it. I didn't put any information because I didn't feel like it. I'm debating on whether to try ARCs, ARCs, Advanced Reader Copies. I know that there are some in, there's like, Book Funnel is one, Book Sprout is another. I'm hearing about NetGalley, and I don't know anything about it. I'm tempted to try it out to see if I would care for these books, but you know, you have to give more information, and I'm willing to do that, and just not right now with these. So, but yeah, I'm gonna attempt to go even further, see what we can do. I'm hoping that I am going to do just as well in February of reading every day. I probably will. I don't know if I'm going to do this review every time for the months or not. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to give more reviews about it. I'm curious what you think and how you feel about it. I'm thinking of giving you an overview of this bullet journal in the month, probably 6 months. After 6 months has been full, that way it's halfway done, and you can see this. If you have any suggestions, authors that I might be interested in, like I said, I love horror. I love paranormal. I'm somewhat in nonfiction, but the nonfiction is more helpful than it is memoirs and history about some things. I'm not big on the historical. I don't know how much I feel about classics. But if you got any suggestions, I'm all ears. I'm curious what you think I should read. Other than that, thank you for coming. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful day.